I want to discuss something that recently came to mind for some reason. I typically leave the past where it best belongs. However, I previously mentioned this incident, but I wanted to share how I now view it. As I've mentioned, at some point, the Lucchese's Jersey crew was experiencing infighting, and initially, Ralphie and Johnny Perna were sent over to our crew, and they didn't remain with us for that long, and were both sent back to Jersey. Not long after, Johnny Sideburns said to me one day, "Did you hear? Now we're getting another Perna, Joe Perna. Did you ever meet him?" I said I hadn't, and he told me he's a nice guy, you'll get along with him. And the crux of this story had to do with the next time I seen Sideburns, which happened to be a few days later. And he was laughing and said, "I was hoping you were going to stop by last night." And he meant at the cigar lounge. I asked him why, and he told me that Joe Perna was here. I was telling him about you and Anthony, and he meant Anthony Guzzo. And I told him, wait till you meet them both and then tell me who's the better guy. Naturally, Joe Perna met both Anthony and I, and no soon after, one day Sideburns, Joe Perna, and I were in a diner across the street from the cigar lounge. And when we were leaving, walking back across the street, that conversation came up, and Joe Perna turned to me and said something to the effect of, "I don't have to tell you who I told him was the better guy." And let me explain what that meant. By the better guy, it wasn't only personality they were speaking of, but who was the better guy for the life. And at that time, Joe Perna felt that person was me. Obviously, he no longer feels that way. But reflecting back, he was mistaken. It was Anthony who was the better guy, not for his personality, but for that life. The mob of today believes in lying, bad-mouthing comes natural to them, being selfish to the point of cheating their own brothers out of money, and they have a total disregard for the rules. And I could go on, but I believe I made my point. At that time, which was about 2015, the mob that existed then, I was 100% the wrong guy for.